Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Dr. Kawana D, your number one wealth creator, showing you how to make more money in your business. And today I'm super excited. Thank you all for joining in. Let me know where you're from, who you are, as well as what type of business services that you have. If you are here because you want to learn how to make more money, you are in the right place, because I am going to show you not only how to manifest, but multiply, and to know exactly what you need to do to make more money for yourself and for your family. All right, so how do you make more money in business, Dr. Quantity? Well, if you stick around, I'm going to show you. Ideally, I'm going to show you also the do's and don'ts that are costing you millions of dollars. We're going to flip that script so you can actually get millions of dollars back into your bank account by understanding the information that I'm going to share with you today. All right, so ideally, there are three types of businesses, and depending on the type of business you have, it will simply determine how much money will actually flow into your business. So if you didn't know that was a thing, it really is a real thing. And I'm going to show you exactly how real that thing is. All right. So three types of businesses. Let me see. Three types of businesses. And ideally, depending on the type of business you have, it will determine your altitude in finances. It will determine how much money will be flowing or will be able to flow through your business. Number one, the first type of business is a slow biz. Slow biz is ideally a B2C or business to consumer business model. That is the slowest type of business that you can grow. Not saying that it's impossible to grow, right? It's not impossible. It just requires a lot of time. A lot of your time, right? And it rewards you with a little bit of money, just a little bit, right? So you spend a lot of time making a little bit of money when it comes to a slow biz, because a slow biz, the B2C consumer, you're getting one customer at a time. If you don't have a huge marketing plan or a system in place to pump out results or to pump out fulfillment for this particular type of business model, especially for those who are service-based, like it can really crawl basically like a turtle. So your business can really crawl like a turtle, which means that I remember when I had a B2C business model, and the number one thing that really stuck out for me was how much time I was spending in my business working on my business instead of working on my bank account or working on my finances, right? So I would spend 70 to 8 hour work weeks making a little bit of money, which means that basically I inherited a job that gave me reverse success, if that makes sense, right? So many of you will probably identify with this because maybe you do have a slow biz, and particularly maybe you have not been rewarded like the type of results that you set out to achieve, right? Meaning that maybe you're burnt out from spending so much time to make a little bit of money, and at the end of the day you feel undervalued. And if that is the case, you potentially probably have a slow biz. Now, on this value ladder, which I'm going to show you exactly how this works, a slow biz ideally is a person that brings in, or an entrepreneur or business that brings in $0 to potentially about $80,000 a year, but you're working full time. And say you put that same amount of effort into working for, corporate America, you probably will break even, right? Or you probably will be making more working for someone else, because not only do you get paid your hourly rate, but you also have benefits and all these other fringe benefits that basically gives you more value than this $0 to $80 that you're working for, right? So just stick with me, just go with me. Just know that this is not a solid number. This is just a range of numbers based off my research of knowing the B2C business model and from my own expertise and experience of knowing how the slow biz can work. Now, when it comes to the slow biz, ideally, I'm going to scroll up and then we're going to get into 2 and 3, right? Actually, I'll go slow biz is the first business model. There's a flow biz. And then there is a grow biz, right? And I will elaborate on each one of these levels in just a moment. But so slow biz, ideally, getting back to the number 1, there's 3 things that you want to do when it comes to the slow biz. You want to resist, you want to refer, and you want to remember. So this is a digital workbook, basically drawing board. So you have to excuse my typing, typography on here because it's really hard to write with a mouse. So 3 things you want to ideally do. You want to resist the customer chase. I'll just put CC. Resist the customer chase, because when it comes to chasing customers, of course, you can easily get burnt out, right? And then you don't want to have customers that you have to chase around and they putting you off until tomorrow, and then they want to bargain shop and all those different things. Well, that is what happens in a slow biz, and that is what happens when you're actually chasing the wrong type of customer, because a real customer is someone that you don't have to chase. But at least by knowing these different things, you're aware of who you are selling your products and services to, or attempting to sell your products and services to. So you want to refer to customers, which means when you do consume or gain a customer or a client, you want to ask for referrals. Not only do you want them to refer you, which will kind of help you out in this slow biz model, right? You want them to refer you. You want to do, of course, an excellent job and deliver above and beyond, what their expectations are, so that they're happy to refer you to other friends and other colleagues and all those different things, which kind of helps you save time from chasing the customer, because now you have a customer that has been referred to you. But you also want to refer your customers to other sources, right? That can help them move the needle as well. So say like you're serving a client in the area of, let's just say, event planning or something like that, right? So not only can you do an excellent job doing their event for them, but you can also refer them to perhaps another venue and have a relationship with the venue, to where now you're getting a fee off referrals, venue referrals, and that kind of adds a little cash infusion into your business, to where, you're not necessarily doing the work, but you're going through a referral system. People are referring clients to you, and you're referring clients on a fee-based a relationship, basically on a fee-based scenario, to other vendors or other resources that they can use. And then this way, not only are you able to get some of your time back for referring them, but you're also able to get paid. So anyways, so these are the 3 key points to a slow biz, some things that you want to, keep in mind. You want to resist the customer chase. You want to refer to customers. And then you also want to remember your clientele, right? You want to remember your clientele. You want to remember the customers that you wrote in your business plan. Who are they? Right? You want to remember these things because if you find yourself constantly chasing customers and getting little to not very many referrals and not really building relationships, then you want to go back to the basics and look at, well, who did I say my customer was in your business plan, right? Your target audience. And if you said that person was, a woman or a man between the ages of like 30 and 65 who has a college degree, then that potentially could be the problem, right? Because we're targeting the demographics of individual people versus the demographics of people who have money, right? Because you got to have money in order to purchase and buy things, right? You got to have money or leveraged money opportunities to be able to grow a business, right? So that's it for like the slow biz. When it comes to the flow biz, ideally the business model for the flow biz is B2B, right? Business to business, right? So you have a little bit more cash flow. This is the reason why you're able to have a little bit more consistency, because now instead of the customer chase, right, for individual clients, now you're actually serving businesses, right? And businesses you can serve at a higher level for a lot more money, right? And what it does is it saves you time. It saves you time, so you don't have to. Well, actually, it saves you a little bit of time, not much, but you still spend a lot of time for a little more money, right? So you're getting a lot more money. Basically, you get more money, and you still spend a lot of time fulfilling on these particular opportunities, if that makes sense. So B2B, of course, is more lucrative, right? Because you're serving an actual business, right? Which means that paycheck could be a little bit bigger than a consumer can write, right? But also, it still takes you a little bit of time to do the same fulfillment. However, you have more money, which increases your profit margin, which also increases your ability to have cash flow into your business. So B2B is the next step up from this particular, it's a flow biz value ladder. So flow biz. So here's where your revenues go from about 80,000 to potentially up to about $120,000. Could be more, could be less, but ideally this is like the range of a B2B business model. Of course, you're making a lot more money than you would at the B2C level, but you're not quite, because if you're doing this, depending on what state you're in, if you're doing it in California, then you're still minimum wage. If you're doing it in other states, like certain states, like the cost of living is extremely much lower, right? And so maybe you're doing pretty well depending on where you are. And so this is where you get into the game of like, do I want to move? Like, I'm making this type of money. Can I take my business online so I can do business anywhere, so I can get the most value bang out of my buck, right? And so this is where that type of lifestyle changes come into play, is when you have flow biz, because you have a little bit of money flowing through your business. All right, so that makes sense. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. So when it comes to the flow biz, there's three things that you want to particularly keep in mind. You want to promote, profit, and progress. So write those down. Promote your business, your value. You promote your value. These are things that you're doing at this level. You want to profit from your expertise. Right? And then you also want to progress from your profits. So again, excuse my chicken scratch on this digital writing board. So ideally you want to promote the value, you want to profit from your expertise, and you want to progress from your progress. Okay, so let me explain. Promoting your value. When you're a flow biz, you're doing B2B. Really, what you're doing at this level is you're promoting the value that you bring to this particular business to business clientele, right? You're promoting the value, which means that this is the reason why you're actually profiting higher, basically, or making more money in your business than you would if you were doing a consumer business model. So basically, this is a graduation from the bottom entrepreneurs to maybe like middle class entrepreneurship, right? And so because you're promoting your value, you're letting them know how you can serve them and how the service that you're providing to them can help them grow their business, right? So the value that you bring, of course, is going to be worth a lot more money to a business than the value that you bring to a client, an individual client, right? And so you want to promote that value, and this is all needs to be in your messaging, right? Promoting your value should be in your messaging when it comes to reaching out to businesses so that they're able to turn your value into dollar signs, right? So with that said, you're now profiting from your expertise, right? You're making a profit because you are really great at what you do. You're an expert in your field. All the messaging around your business branding says that you are the go-to expert for what you do. So you're profiting now because there's between 80,000 and 120,000. There's about $40,000, 19, 11, 12. Yep, $40,000 in a difference, right? And so now you're profiting from your expertise, right? So, and then from there, because this increase in your revenues, your business revenues, allows you to then begin to make lifestyle adjustments. Now you're making progress from your profits. Now, progressing from your profits is not something that everybody just does automatically. You have to know the game. You have to understand, now this profit is not just extra spending money. Let me reinvest this either into my business or into marketing so that I can reach more B2B businesses so that I can serve and make even more profits, right? And so this is where strategies come into place so that you can continue to grow and climb up this particular value ladder, okay? So the third type of business that you want to that will basically determine how much money is really coming into your business bank account, right? So if someone asks you these questions, what type of business you have, is who do you serve? Do you serve consumers, businesses, or do you serve this B2P, which is business to premium clientele, right? And so there's two types of premium clients. There's the B2G, business to government, right? And then there's B2CO, business to corporate, right? So these are the two types of premium clients that exist in the world. Premium means top dollars, top payers, right? They buy in bulk, all those different things. Now, when it comes to this particular grow biz, you learn how to make a whole lot of money in a little bit of time, right? This is how you're able to take the six figures that you're making in the year on maybe the flow biz level and turn it into your monthly income, right? So hopefully you understand that, because when I say this, most people are like, well, is that possible? Yes, it's absolutely possible. In fact, I have clients that have turned their annual income into their monthly income simply by positioning themselves as a B2 premium, business to premium service or product provider, right? And so you do that by either doing business with the government or doing business and or both doing business with corporations who have big checks, right? So is where you have leveraged time. So you're able to leverage your time to make a whole lot of money in a little bit of time, which gives you what I call exponential cash infusion. So I'm just writing in shorthand. Exponential cash infusions into your business, right? So how many of you would like to know how to make exponential cash flow and have exponential cash infusions into your business, right? You're making more money in a little bit of time. What you would normally make in a year, you're now making in a single month. And sometimes you can make what you make in a single month or in a year in a single day, right? You can do that only with the right type of business foundation. Are you with me? Does it sound great to you? Are you following me? Is this easy to understand, right? So on this flow chart, when I put in Grow Biz, which is the business to premium client, this is where your business really explodes from 120,000 to over $1 million, right? Over $1 million, really there's no cap. I would just put no cap. But I know for some of you, you need to be able to visualize what that is. So I'm actually going to put a number here, but I want you to know that really, realistically, there is no cap. So how about we put 2.5 million, right? Let's put that, because that's an easy number for you to be able to hit when you're doing business with the right customer. So easily you have climbed up the value ladder from like barely making ends meet, right? Being a slow biz, a poor biz, chasing customers, right? Down here is where a lot of problems happen. Like you can barely pay your bills. Your credit is probably jacked, and all those different things are happening at the lowest level, right? Because you're serving the lowest type of clientele. Not saying that something's wrong with the type of clientele that you're serving. It just shows that where you are and the type of money that you have flowing into your biz is strongly connected to and tied to the type of business model that you have. And so if you want to serve, of course, consumers, that's a fine thing. Just know that you have a lot of work to put into that, which means that, of course, you're putting in a lot of time to make a little bit of money because you have all of these other things weighing against you, right? And especially this does not work when you have no leverage. No financial leverage, no credit to leverage, no way to have a marketing budget so you can reach the masses, right? in order for this particular thing to make you rich. You cannot get rich with a slow biz. B2C, you cannot get rich unless you come from money already and you know exactly what to do with that money to climb that ladder. Okay. Now, the flow biz, of course, at this particular level, now you're getting into the game because now you're a six-figure earner. You're making a little bit of money. You have a little bit of profits, but you're still spending a lot of time. So it could be like you're a highly paid CEO executive, right? But you may find someone that has a 9 to 5. They're, at 5 o'clock, they're checking out and they're still making the same amount of money as you, who's working still 60 to 70 work hours a week, but you're working for yourself, which is a great thing. But just know that there is a difference, right? So, and here you have a little bit of wiggle room because now you're beginning to be a little bit profitable because no one lives off their full revenue, like 120,000, and no one basically should have a six-figure lifestyle. Just put it like that. You shouldn't have a six-figure lifestyle. Not just yet, right? At least not at the flow biz or B2B business model. But at least here, it gets you into the game to where you have some profits that you can play with. Profits that you can reinvest in advertising and things of that nature to get yourself more business, right? And this is where you will begin to have a need to grow a team so that you're leveraging your team members' time, right? And not your own to handle all of this cash flow and handle all of this business growth on your own. Now, when you move up the ladder, the further up the ladder, when you get into the premium buyers, now this is where time freedom, life freedom, freedom to choose where you want to live, freedom to, have great health care and pay for the best, freedom to choose the lifestyle, the car you want to drive, all this is where all this come into play, right? Now you're not stressed off barely making ends meet. You're not stressed off. My credit is jacking. I don't have the money to pay off the credit so I can raise my credit score so I can have the leverage. Because now you're doing business with a premium buyer, which can make your annual income your monthly income. Game changer, right? So, not to mention that I'm an expert in government contracting for small businesses. This is just the business model for creating wealth. You have to understand where to create wealth. You want to make more money in your business, then you want to start looking at these two, right? Moving yourself from, if you're at a slow biz, moving yourself up the value ladder and ultimately landing in the grow biz platform, basically at the grow biz level. Because at the grow biz level, this is where you're able to, create jobs, stimulate the economy. This is where, for those who have nonprofits, this is where now you're able to fund philanthropy organizations or fund philanthropist purposes and things that you want to serve at the highest level because now you have money to do that. When you're down here, which unfortunately there's a lot of nonprofits who are here and they don't have money for their nonprofit, but they want to serve the people. Well, the more money you make, the bigger your impact could be. Maybe you could serve the people by donating, $5,000 or $10,000 or maybe $2,000 a year. Well, guess what? Up here, when you're at no cap and you're a multi-millionaire and making multiple six figures in this area, well, now you're able to serve and donate like $100,000, $200,000, maybe even $1 million a year, right? So your impact goes further. And so I say that because I know that there's a lot of entrepreneurs who are operating at this particular level of a slow biz and they have a big heart to serve. Well, in order for you to really, really serve and create impact, right? Everything counts, of course, but to create real impact with lasting legacy, you want to think about what type of business model you have and how to fully maximize, optimize, and profit from your business, right? So you have to grow up that value ladder. Okay. So three things that you want to consider and keep in mind when it comes to the grow biz are simplifying the process, right? So simplify. So you want to simplify your processes at this point so that you can continue to maximize and optimize your time, right? So this is how you continue to have more money in less time. And now you can work very less than part-time and be making multiple six figures to multiple millions of dollars and have all this time to travel and do whatever you want to do, prioritize your family and all those different things, right? How do I know? It's because I have a B2P business model, and this is the value ladder that I was able to climb up. This is the exact same value ladder that I teach my clients to climb up, and they're going from, operating at the, the slow biz level to making their first $250,000 year, $1 million year, $500,000 year, $150,000 contract, which is just the first in the year. All of those different things, basically giving them cash infusions. All right. So you want to learn, when it comes to fulfilling your service or your product or serving your client, you want to have a simplified process in place. You want to simplify the process. You want to simplify the process, amplify your progress, and you want to multiply your profits at this point. Multiply, and I'll explain. Multiply profits. Okay. So simplify the process, amplify the progress, and multiply your profits. What do I mean by that? So simplifying your process. So basically, as you're serving premium buyers, you cannot have a long driven out process to delivering great value, right? So you have to learn how to systemize and simplify the process to where it's like moving A to B to C and they're done. Like an assembly line, right? One of the most efficient stories that I've saw, where a restaurant chain basically simplified their process so they can serve at a higher level to make more money and become like the number one food chain in the world, right, is McDonald's, right? If you ever have a chance or have not had a chance, watch the movie, how they simplified the process, and it allowed them to be more efficient, to make more money, to make more profits, right? And so as you simplify your process to delivering the service or the product that you have, now you're able to amplify the progress of that, right? Amplify that, right? You're able to grow your team, to duplicate, to raise the quality, increase the value, right? So you amplify that progress, and then once you amplify the process, you're able to multiply on your profits, because now you're able to serve even more B2P, business to premium clients, right? So you're able to multiply your profits by landing multiple contracts. So the thing about this is, slow biz, B2C, this particular business value ladder, right? You make transactions. Okay? So individual transactions happen at this particular level. Now, the higher up the ladder you go, things begin to become more simplified as far as the transactions, right? So it go from individual transactions, which can be all over the place, to now you have a contract. So here's like business to business are mostly like work for hire agreements, but everything is pretty much in a contract, right? So those transactions are larger for maybe a similar amount of time, but you have larger transactions because it's written up in a bulk contract. Basically, you can do X, Y, and Z. So instead of charging X, Y, and Z a number of times, you put it all under a contract, which is a work for hire thing, a scope of work, and then you are paid a lump sum for performing all of those particular duties, right? So hopefully that makes sense to you. And then as you continue to go up, of course, those particular contracts, it goes from work for hire to contracts, which is similar, but now it's just at a larger scale, a larger scope of work. So basically at this point, your contracts could be, anywhere from like 50,000. Normally they're a much higher than that, but let's just say 50,000 to basically like $1.5 million. So, because premium buyers like the government, premium buyers like corporations, they actually buy in bulk. And so this is how one contract can literally change your life. It could be worth multiple six figures. It could be worth $1 million. It could be worth, depending on your industry, multiple billions of dollars, right? And so Grow Biz is at the top of the value ladder. For those of you who are here because you're serious about learning how to make more money in your business, if you understand this process, when you understand the value ladder, when you understand why money is flowing through your business the way that it's flowing in your business, then you can actually make this system work for you, right? So you can actually get ahead of the game when you understand what's happening behind the scenes. So it's not necessarily because of the people, right, don't have money, or people are not spending money. It's because of the business structure and the business model and the approach to business. So if you kind of like, adjust your approach or change your business approach, you can actually make more money this year than anyone have ever made in your industry, right? You can actually make more money this year than all the years combined that you have been in business. And you can do that this year, right? So if you want to know more about this value ladder, you want to know more about these premium buyers and how to actually qualify to attract these premium buyers into your life and into your business so you can make more money, multiply your income, and become highly profitable this year, join us into our high GovCon challenge. It's basically a high level, highly valued event. It's a 5-day event called the GovCon challenge, where we're showing you exactly how to get pre-qualified for premium buyers, right? The number one premium buyer in the world is the U.S. government. So of course we start with that, but also by getting qualified for this particular premium buyer, you also are qualifying yourself for the second level premium buyer, which are corporations. You do that by default, right? And so if you want to know how to become the next premium entrepreneur who are making premium dollars and premium profits for your business so you can make more money, right, this year, join us in the GovCon Challenge. So if you go to govconchallenge.com, get yourself registered, and you too can register as a premium ticket holder, right? So you are able to also come behind the scenes and join me in a exclusive Q&A where I get to actually consult you throughout the week as well, throughout the challenge as well. So join us in the upcoming 5-day challenge, govconchallenge.com. This year, we're going to help you make more money in your business. If you show up for yourself, then our goal is to help you make more money in your business. And we're going to absolutely show up with you and for you. All right. So looking forward to seeing you on the money side, govconchallenge.com. Make sure you get yourself registered. We'll see you soon. All right.